Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, dum, 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 da-dum, dum, 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 dum. Yes, people, it's Friday, it's the Red Cartel, and we are back once again with another video and another stream for you guys. Do you know what? It feels like the whole cartel are on a little side mission tonight because I was trying to grab as many people as I could for the stream. But I'm glad that I've got the likes of Connor, I've got Greg with us as well as we discuss the winners and losers of the transfer window over the summer. And look, let's be honest with you, Dan United should be here with us as well, probably within the next 10-15 minutes. But yeah, it was probably the biggest summer on record, especially for Liverpool, where Liverpool's concerned, but a lot of other clubs seem to spend the money. Straight off the back, boys, if you've had to kind of pick your winners of the transfer window, it could be a club, it could be a player, it could be the reputation for someone's board. Who do you think's come out and comes out in a strong position off the back of it?
I have to say it seems away. Come on, we all know.
Right. If I was to pick a player, Isak.
Okay.
He fought for what he wanted. He got for what he wanted.
So did Gyökeres, though. Let's not make no mistakes. Gyökeres in the same boat. He's in the same boat.
Like in terms of players, I'd say Isak, and then I'd probably say Eze because it was his dream. In terms of teams, yeah, Liverpool, you lot smashed it, man. I'll post whatever videos about it, but I still won't deny it. You lot smashed it. I think we ended up having a much bigger one than we expected. I think Chelsea done decent business again, but I think they've done too much business as usual. And United looked promising for a while until they didn't get a single decent midfielder.
Yeah, I think that
United. But the front line is good business, man. Good business in Buemo and Cunha.
But what about Sesko? Do you think Sesko is going to get the level of service required because they haven't got anybody in that midfield? That midfield.
Yeah, I was saying this the other week. Like you can score 13 goals in the Bundesliga, but can you do it on a rainy Tuesday night?
Wait there. Actually, can we get something straight here? Yeah, talking about all this. Is Sesko going to get the what's it called, the service? Let's not pretend that United didn't, have some chances against Grimsby, and he still blanked. Let's not pretend like that didn't happen, because it did. He had service and he didn't score. He had about 5 headers which all went to the keeper. He had about 3 shots which all got blocked up by a defender or even saved by the keeper. If there was ever a time to stop it, it was then. And look, because I think for this narrative for the fair analysis of Sesko. So far at United, we can't be biased and say that United got battered. We have to be level here and say, look, United played all right. They create a few chances, especially in the second half, and Sesko still flopped it. Do you know what I mean? At least in the all-Eater affair against Leeds, Gyökeres got on the score sheet.
That's true. But you don't think there's an element of him? It's going to take him a little bit of time to acclimatise. Obviously, not only to the country but to that setup in Man U's quite shocking at the moment. Even at the best times, they are going to struggle.
It's Grimsby Town. That should have been the game where he just scored a goal. It's just a goal.
Obviously, there is acclimatisation, but at the end of the day, they're all professional athletes as well. They do this for a living. No matter where you play, you're playing on a grass pitch. I don't care where you are, you're kicking the ball on a grass pitch. So
the thing is as well, he had about 6 shots on goal from what I remember. That's Sesko, and then he's not scored any. And then in the other performances for United this season, like when he has played, obviously coming off the bench or starting, he's really done nothing. And obviously, you can say he's not got the service or whatever, but that game against Burnley was quite end-to-end in terms of, Burnley scored, United scored, Burnley scored, you know what I mean? And he still didn't really do much. So
do you think he's a loser in all of this then, Greg? Do you think he's a loser? He doesn't even know he's a loser yet, but when you deep it, he's actually going to be a loser from this window.
Yeah. Like,
It didn't want
in Buemo, for instance, right? You can't tell me that with a where would he even play for? Where would he even play for United? He played like a winger, wouldn't he? Really? kind of. As like maybe like a right forward at a push winger.
Yeah.
You're telling me that's not a good enough player to give some sort of service to Sesko?
He's looked comfortable as well.
He's looked very good. He's looked very good in every single game he's played. You know, I just think Sesko's the ultimate loser. I think he'll probably be the worst transfer. I'm not saying. I don't think you can say he's a flop because I don't think anyone's expecting him to do relatively well. I'll be surprised if he scores more than 10 goals this season, genuinely, in the league anyway. But I mean, that's all he fucking got.
Really? Do you think? Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I think Bremo's going to score more than him.
100%. 100%.
100%.
I could see that.
100%. I think Sesko's the worst transfer out of all the big six.
Well, he didn't even want United. Do you know what I mean? He wanted Arsenal, started following him on Instagram and didn't get the move because we got the man that we wanted. So even that personally, he's lost out.
Do you think that was a case of you got the one you wanted, or the fact that you were kind of priced out for Sesko at that point in time and you thought there was more value in Gyökeres?
Forget Arteta. Berta wanted Gyökeres from the start. He's always wanted. He even wanted him when he was at Atletico Madrid. I think he was just
Gyökeres is pound for pound a better player than Sesko.
Yeah, he's still got about 5 years on top of him as well, though. Let's be honest, he's the senior, isn't he? Let's be fair.
Like I said,
I'm trying to be a bit balanced. I'm trying to be balanced.
I get what you mean. But I just I don't know. I just let's just look at the two players. Like, obviously, they're both still going to have they're both still going to have to find their feet somewhat in the new teams, in the new leagues, in the new systems that they're playing. And obviously, let's be real as well. Sesko's got the harder challenge, but we can't also deny that Sesko has had the easier set so far.
Oh yeah,
in terms of to impress, quote unquote. So out of the two, I think it's a no-brainer. Like, Gyökeres is easily the better man for Arsenal, and Arsenal came out on top in that battle.
I was saying as well, with like Gyökeres against you lot, obviously I'm going to back my team, I'm going to back my players, but I'm not an idiot. Do you know what I mean? You're not, no matter how good a player you are, you're not, unless you have a miracle of a game, you're not going to Anfield and demolishing them. It's not happening.
The only number 9 I've seen do that at Anfield in recent times, like, I'm talking actual like a number 9. So I'm not talking about that PSG team that fluked the 1-0 win the same way we did. I'm talking an actual number 9. It was Isak.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. Genuinely, the last time I saw it out and out.
And the Donny before that wasn't even a number 9. And I said it was Leandro Trossard. Didn't he come and dunk a hat-trick on us for Brighton before he went off to...
yeah, he did.
Before he went to Arsenal.
And again,
Arsenal haven't really... utilised them in through the middle in that way, but he was somebody that caused us a lot of troubles and a lot of problems at that time. I think Semenyo as well. He had a good game at the start of the season.
Semenyo will end up at a big club next season, I think. For me, I'd take Semenyo next summer. Honestly,
I'm surprised that Mateta didn't this year.
Mateta, really? No.
Very surprised he didn't get a move.
See, I wasn't.
There was no way Palace were going to offload that much that soon.
Exactly. I think they're in the too well run of a club to be letting go some of their better players. Obviously,
that's a bit of an arguable point now.
Well, we'll get onto it and we'll touch onto it, because I think one of the biggest losers from the window, and I think anybody that watches Redmen, anybody that's a Liverpool fan, will all have the same stance in this. Marc Guehi, lads, when does it pay to be a nice guy in 2025? Nice guys finish last, dog. Like, and the saddest thing is for me, what kind of message does it send? And I said this, it goes the same way for the Isak situation. I said that about, the internal players that are still at Newcastle that may have had similar conversations or felt as though Newcastle, not necessarily as a stepping stone of a club, but felt that if they proved themselves at Newcastle, got themselves into the Champions League, they could then go on to get a move to, one of the European biggest clubs. But if they didn't let Isak out of that contract and give him a pathway to, the move he wanted, whether it was Liverpool, Real Madrid, whoever, what message does that send to the Brunos, the Tonalis, the Botmans, all those other players that are probably thinking, boy, well, I thought if I did good, I could get that move. But the same can be said now for Marc Guehi and Marc Guehi's situation. And in the Marc Guehi situation, big up, Dan, good evening, my friend, good evening. In the Marc Guehi situation, lads, you're sitting there and you're looking at it and you're thinking, what kind of message does that send now to the rest of the league and other players that are, looking at transfers and thinking to themselves, well, hang on a minute. If I do it the Isak route, eventually, no matter what club it is, Newcastle, the richest club on the planet, still folded and still sold me because I was no longer an asset to them. I was a liability. Marc Guehi, on the other hand, now has been nothing but he's done it by the book. He's kept his head down. He's delivered on the pitch. And then he still ends up getting done over by whether it's the hierarchy, whether it's the manager. One way or another, they've not been loyal to the player, and he's been the captain of the club. So it doesn't really bode well for other players that think going that way is the better of the two options for me personally. But what are your thoughts, boys? Do you think Guehi's lost out, or do you think, do you think Palace were in the right?
Definitely Guehi's lost out. This entire thing is on Palace. And obviously, you can look at it from two different ways. You can look at it from the way of, Palace never wanted to get rid of him, so they prolonged the entire saga to be on deadline day just so they could, try and find a replacement that falls through and whatever. Or you could just look at it in the case of, it was just timing and time was the issue. But ultimately, I just think this entire thing just stems from Palace's poor ways of doing things. We can't you have to go back to the very beginning. So this entire saga started before even the Community Shield. There was murmurs of Liverpool wanting to go in for Marc Guehi before pre-season even started. It must have been late June, early July, where the first murmurs. I remember Ornstein tweeted it, and it was only really until the pre-season started where the murmurs got louder, and even it got to the point where the murmurs of Guehi coming to Liverpool were that big. Our fans at Wembley cheered when we heard Marc Guehi's name said for the Palace team. When the person on the tannoid was announcing the Crystal Palace team, Marc Guehi, and Liverpool's end went up loud as if it was Mo Salah's name. So we all knew the link was there. We all knew there was something going on behind the scenes. And then I think a few days after the Community Shield, Fabrizio, Ornstein, all the respected journalists saying stuff that like Liverpool are ready to make £35 million bid off it. But it was the same as the Isak situation. Crystal Palace didn't want to sell until they found a replacement. And it was never about the money for Palace. It was about the replacement. We gave them 35 million, which is a respectable amount of money for a player who has 1 year left on their contract and who's never played Champions League football before. That is a very, very respectable amount of money, I think, personally. And then Palace said, look, we want to find a replacement, but we're happy with 35 million, which they showed when they accepted 35 million on deadline day. It was the way Palace didn't use that time to find the replacements. They used that time to try and convince Guehi to stay. They used that time to try and talk to him, try and offer him a new contract, try and convince him in some way or in one way or another to either sign a contract and stay or sign a contract so they can get money for him, which they tried for 3 weeks before deadline day. And then they realised after the Villa game, shit, he's not going to sign a contract here. Hence why the moment Isak was agreed and the Fabrizio, here we go, was announced at midnight, 10 hours later, what you hear, Marc Guehi to Liverpool. Palace are accepting the bid. They did one more stage to here we go. And then you hear the news that Palace have found the replacement. And then here we go for Guehi comes in. So in the space of them 24 hours, Marc Guehi's been told, right, we're going to let you leave.
He's checked out, lad, he's checked out.
Gone. He's in a Liverpool strip. He's 100%. Done this in front of a camera. Yeah, he's done this. He's done the medical. He's done everything apart from put pen to paper. Because the moment that contract's getting printed out, Palace's replacement falls through. And obviously, I don't know. I have no clue what the reason is for it. Obviously, he chose West Ham for whatever reason. The fella's an idiot. Yeah, let's just put that first and foremost. The fella's an absolute muppet. Because why were you choosing West Ham over Conference League? Like, I don't get it. But I digress. That move has fell through.
And your pussy's
He's
out.
gone to the medical. He's completed the medical, and then last minute he said, "No, I want to go West Ham." No idea why. And because of that, just before Marc Guehi, he's meant to put pen to paper. Crystal Palace have said, "No, it's done. We don't. We want to make a U-turn." So ultimately, Palace have messed themselves up by they're now not going to get 35 million. And in my opinion, 35 million for a club like Palace is more than enough over a 3-week period before deadline day to go and find yourself 2 Conference League level centre backs, or even a centre back, or even a centre back and a different player.
They had money because Arsenal
just won the FA Cup as well. Do you know what I mean? And the Eze money as well.
Eze money. Dan United.
You know what I mean? Like £35 million was enough for them to find a replacement straight up. Easy, it was enough. However, we're now going to go and do.
Who can you buy? Who can you buy for 35 million? It's going to replace that's the same level as Guehi, because you obviously want him at Liverpool and think he's this incredible player.
Oh.
Who can you get for 35 million with 3 weeks?
Clubs like Palace.
That's not my job. That's not my job. That's not my job to figure out. You know what I mean? They've obviously got scouts there.
I hear that.
That can analyse that, though. But you know what I mean? Though, like they're the FA Cup winners. They've got enough money from all that. They should have some sort of process in which they can, they can analyse players and find out who a solid replacement will be for Guehi. Obviously, I'm not saying they're going to find a player who's just exactly like him, is as good as him, because that obviously isn't going to happen. Marc Guehi, he's one of the best centre-backs in the league, if not top 5. Do you know what I mean? That's a given. But they definitely had the time. They had 3 weeks. They had so much time, and they would have gotten good money. Because now what's going to happen is that we're going to probably offer like maybe 20 million in January, maybe even 15, and they're going to have to.
They're going to have to say yes.
Well, the maddest thing is for me, more than anything else,
say yes.
And I'll come to you, Dan, on this. The maddest thing for me was, out of all of this now, there was whether it's true or not, it's been put out there to the public that the manager turned around and basically said, "Look, if you're going to let Guehi go at the 11th hour, I will then formally hand in my resignation." That was the straw that broke the deal's back in a lot of senses. But then when you actually look at it now, Glasner is highly rated by a number of clubs around Europe, by a lot of fans. A lot of people give him his credit, give him his flowers. There's nothing to say that a big club in the next 6 months don't axe a manager and then go directly to his doorstep and say, "Yo, do you want this project at a huge club that's going to be in the Champions League, doing whatever, or just at a huge club with name and reputation? Do you want to take the helm here?" He's obviously just going to look after himself and he's going to go. So why is it okay for one, but then it's definitely not okay for Marc Guehi, who's been loyal to a club, been there for years, been the captain, all of the add-ons? But we know as soon as Glasner's head gets turned, managers aren't loyal in the same way. Dan, what do you think?
Who's he going to go to? Like which big clubs are you going to go? Nah, Amorim will be there to the end of the season. There is no chance.
I didn't say United, bro. I didn't even say United.
No, you did, and he did. No, look, obviously I'd love Glasner, but United aren't going to spend the money that they're spending on the players that we've brought in and just chuck it in with Amorim. They did that with Ten Hag. They don't want to make the same mistake again. But it's all if buts and maybes, isn't it? I don't look. I've been in a similar situation. I understand what it's like with the Crystal Palace fans, because we had the same thing with De Gea. I don't know if you all remember this. On deadline day a long time ago, probably about 10 years ago now, he was due to go to Real Madrid, and the fax machine broke.
The fax machine, that one. Yep.
Clubs do this. Clubs will do what they want. And look, with Crystal Palace, they're probably looking at, they know that in January he's either going to go for 25 million or less, or you'll sign a pre-contract. But what they're hoping now is they can get as much out of this lad as they can to get them into the next round of Europe. And I think in that time, they will probably be looking and scouting and bringing in players. I've got no problem with what Glasner did, because I think he's earned that right as a manager with what he's done for Palace, to be able to turn around and say, "If you get rid of him, I'll go."
Do you actually think that? Yeah.
So I do.
But you not think so? Because like I keep saying, footballers' careers are so short, and the opportunities aren't always available for, like, don't God forbid, something untoward happened to him, and you know, he was never the same player again, or you know, he had something break down in his personal life, or something just happened, and he doesn't get that opportunity again. You know, this is Liverpool, United, Arsenal. They are once in a lifetime opportunity clubs to play for them.
If he's good enough, though, mate. I mean, look, yeah, take away the injury that could potentially. If he's good enough, he'll end up at Liverpool. I think we can all agree his final path will be Liverpool. But at the same time, I just think, look, Palace. It was a horrific thing to happen to the player, and the question I would ask, and I said this on my channel, what the media cannot do now, because the media are great at this. The media love doing this. That when this sort of things happens, they will be focusing on him now from now until January. And any mistake he makes, it'll be, Liverpool were in his head. You know, that Liverpool have dodged a bullet. It's just the game. But the game is the game, Errol. Like, we've all been there. We've wanted players. Moves break down. If he's good enough, and if he's and he's proven that he's asserted himself in the right way. Some people have gone on about Visser, about Isak, some with other players, but with him, I feel like as long as mentally he's strong enough, he'll be fine. He'll end up with you guys in January. It's just it is what it is. The question I would ask you, and following on from before, was kind of like my problem with goalkeepers. Why didn't you go out and get this done earlier in the summer? Why didn't
that was the other question I was going to ask Connor then, really. You know, you guys seem to... A lot of Arsenal fans at the start of the window were saying you need 3 or 4 players. Other Arsenal fans felt as though you needed 7 or 8. It needed to be a bit of a rebuild. There needed to be a little bit of structure to it. You guys pretty much got the bulk of your business done, including some of the big players and everything. I think you were quite efficient in the transfer window. However, now when you deep it, as Dan's just rightly said, did Liverpool miss the boat really by not just saying, right, he's the prime defence, like centre half target. We've knew that probably since May, June time. Let's just make sure that we lock off the fullbacks. The Isak saga is going to rumble on. We can sort that when we need to sort that. We've got Ver through the door. He should be higher up the priority list. Or do you think Liverpool just felt overly confident that it would just land anyway, and Palace wouldn't necessarily do Liverpool dirty?
I think it was the second one, because as well, like we've known he's your main defensive target for a minute now, and is he going to be a long-term replacement for Van Dijk? Or is he going to be a replacement for Konate? Because Konate seemed like he didn't want to be there. Everyone seemed to think he wanted that Madrid move. But then when you bring him in, is it now going to be rotation between the 3 of them? At the time, you still got Joe Gomez, and you still had Jarrell Kwanzaa at the time before that went through. I think that maybe you guys did not just got a bit too confident, but you had a lot of other stuff you were trying to sort out.
Was that not the transfer window though? Like, the transfer window seemed to open and it all went crazy. Like, all the clubs went out there, got that, and then we had like a 2.5 week, 3 week period, and then it just stopped, didn't it? It just
at the start of July, because then it went past that PSR deadline. So Arsenal were waiting for a lot of their business. But I did want to say another reason why I feel so sorry.
Thinks it's Parish's fault.
Another reason why I feel really sorry for Guehi is he's literally just become his own meme. See the one him standing there, is it the under-21s final or the under-19s final, where he's just standing there staring into the distance?
Yeah.
He's become his own meme. I feel bad for him because he is such. He just seems like a genuine guy.
He seems like a nice, like I don't know him. Do you know what I mean? Don't profess to know, but he comes across as like his character is just very.
Boys, we're men. What did they always used to say about us men with women when we were younger? Nice guys always finish last.
Bro, I opened with that, bro, because they
do. That was the first thing Errol said, to be fair, when we started talking about it.
Lad, he comes across like the nice guy, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's tried to do things right. And again, the maddest thing is that the day after, people were saying, oh, he's going to, buy out his own contract and end his contract and all the rest of it. I was like, I just can't see it. Irrespective of his relationship to Parish or to Glasner now, he will believe, or he will feel as though he still owes a duty to the fans. And those type of players are fucking rare as rocking horse shit in this day and age. But the fact that he's got the cojones to just be like, you know what? I'm in the gulag. It's not what I want, but there's a bag of fans out there that'll be singing my name every weekend.
Hey,
And as long
you
as
know
they
what though,
are,
as well. To slightly agree and disagree with something Dan said, he will end up going to you lot. Yes, we know that. But it won't be his last destination. If he's going to you lot, Real Madrid will be his last destination.
why? Why?
Because Madrid love raiding you for players. So it's going to happen.
No, it can't.
So what we were saying anyway, here on the Red Cartel tonight, we're discussing the winners and losers. This guy, you know,
doing me again.
Yes, bro. You get demoted for saying stupidness like that on this channel. We can't have that.
Alonso, McManaman. Oh, I'm going to be quiet. Go on.
Yeah, I'm only messing.
I saw 3 players, man. Come on.
No, I think there's a point that you have just made there, Connor, that is quite valid though, and it is in the sense that if Liverpool aren't able to activate, getting Guehi out of Palace by January, come the summer, now that's a different proposition. Mm-hmm. I could see City being involved in it. I could see Spurs wanting to be involved in it. I could see Madrid wanting to be involved in it. Liverpool, there will be a whole host of clubs flying around a proverbial Marc Guehi dump come the summer. So Liverpool still have to get it done. I feel sorry for them, but that's the game.
That's the game, and that's the 20 million. That is the game. Unfortunately, this game can make you on top of the world, and you can get everything you want. But sometimes this game, we know it as fans, can just bring you to your knees. The good thing for him is, I think the best thing was that he had England after it. If they'd have had a game a couple of days after it,
his head would have been fried. His head would have been absolutely fried.
So I think the best thing for him that.
I hope he just paid the 20 mil. To be honest, just get it done in January. Just no messing about. Just pay 20 million. And about that point about Madrid, by the way, actually, I want to address this quickly, right? So people keep saying the same thing about Isak, especially Newcastle fans. Or good luck, mate. When Madrid or Barcelona come with paying it over. No, lads,
that was a great impression.
Isak's 25 years old. Guehi's 25 years old. Yeah, they're gonna get 5-year contracts, right? Do you think Barcelona or Real Madrid pay high fees for players?
No, they wait till they're on freeze. They will wait until they're 30. They will wait till they're 30. You know what I mean? Like they'll be 30 by the time contracts run out. Do you think Barcelona and Real Madrid pay big dough? No, they don't.
And Liverpool aren't looking to just put them on one contract, by the way. If they do well in the next 18 months, they'll get an extension. So it'll be 31, 32 before they're even close to being able to go on a 3.
Yeah,
make no mistake about it. Liverpool aren't stupid in that respect. They would, at least at their prime age, they'd want to protect their assets. If it was going the right way, then I think they'd extend for at least 1 or 2 after they've shown that they can deliver European stage, Premier League, whatever that looks like. If we had to kind of step away from the losers now, do you think who outside of the likes of an Isak, because Connor's already given Isak as one, who else has made the big moves that makes them a winner in this transfer window, lads? Now, I'm thinking my first one is João Pedro. I think he's going to be the one to watch. He's going to be one of the players to watch this season for me. I think he's going to have a fantastic season for Chelsea. I think he just offers Chelsea something they haven't got, and I think they'll have to rely on him in a lot of senses because they haven't had somebody in that ilk for quite some time. But I genuinely see him being one of the better players in this league this season. I think his confidence is growing. I think he knows he's going to become a main man. I think he'll be the mainstay there. I think they'll have some backup behind him. So I'm just wondering, is there anybody else up there that you can see right now and you think, yeah, they've definitely won and that's the right club for them or the right fit for the player?
I'll give you one, and it's a weird one because it's a mid-table player, mid-table club to a mid-table club. How'd you say his name? Django Atara? Bournemouth to Brentford. Now they don't have Wissa or Buemo.
Okay.
I think he could shine. He could shine this season.
I want to throw in a rogue one as well. I want to say Jack Grealish.
Yes. Hey, that's a great shout. That is actually a great shout.
Because Grealish never really fell off at City. He had his creativity tapped by Pep's system.
Yeah, just completely. He was handcuffed, man. He was putting the
David Moyes unlocked Grealish.
Was that? Can you believe
David
it? Can
Moyes
you actually believe?
Yeah. Grealish.
That's a sentence I didn't think I'd heard in 2025. That's crazy.
Nah,
But go on. I'll let you unpack that a little bit. Why do you think Grealish for Everton is the right move, or for him it's a win for him as a player?
Well, obviously, there's the guaranteed game time. Grealish, if he's fit, is going to start practically every game within reason. So there's that. There's also the fact that he can play with freedom because he's not playing with the pressure of having to go for a trophy or playing with the pressure of having to be good around good players. We all know he is the best player on the Everton side, so he will just play like he is. There's no reason to impress. There's no need to impress. He will just impress. And we've seen with the first 3 games this season what he's come up with. What is it? 3 assists, 4 assists, or something like that. 4 assists and a goal.
2 goals, isn't it?
Is it? 2 goals or
2
something?
goals,
Yeah. 3 games in the Premier League, and he's come up with that. Like with the player that we saw Grealish as at Aston Villa is quite clearly coming back at Everton, and I think that is because at Aston Villa, Grealish was the main man. He was let free. He didn't need to. He wasn't held back to his system. He just got told by the manager, "Just do you," and just.
He should have got. I know. It's obviously ridiculous to say it because my father would call him, but Ryan Giggs in an interview said that Jack Grealish was a United player. Like he should have. I could have seen him at United. He'd have been. I think he'd have had the creative freedom to go out there and do what he wants. Under City, he won the trophies. He just stifled him, and it was so sad to see in the end because Jack Grealish is a player that he does get bums out of seats. You know, he does things in games that you go, "You little shit, how have you done that?" Yeah. But I love Jack Grealish. I think he's incredible, and I think him unleashed. The only thing I would say is his age. Like we forget he's 30 now. Like where did that come from? Where did he start?
Dan, you're of an older age like me and Errol as well. I was going to say this earlier. Greg's young, but I was not happy with the venom he was putting into 30. We need you on our side.
It's true, isn't it? I mean, look, I'm not saying. I just think now the way that the Premier League is, though, bro, these younger lads coming through, they're destroying the people in their 30s. You know,
I agree with Greg 100%. Given that freedom and that creativity, he's going to be, he's just going to be like old Jack Grealish again. Like even the few games he played for England under Carsley when we were waiting for the replacement, he just looked class. He just looked class because it was just go on a pitch, do what you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Big up man like Aaron as well. Aaron, nice one for jumping on, bro. How you doing? You okay?
You know, good. Yeah. Just got back from taking the kids and the missus out for just a little nibble. They've all gone back this week, haven't they? The kids.
Yeah.
My little daughter.
The roads have been manic, lad. The roads have been manic again, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's been a joy, innit? The last couple of weeks of work, innit? Having it off, but
leave 10 minutes before I'm about to start, and I'm fine.
You've got to set the alarm for that half hour, 45 minutes earlier again, didn't you? Because of the roads. But they're all good, mate. Outside of Arsenal, life's good, mate. So I was going to say, well, Arsenal,
we're sat here now. We're unpacking the transfer window a little bit, Aaron, and we're basically thinking of the winners and losers. So I threw out there that I think João Pedro is going to be a winner of for this season. Greg just made a great point about Jack Grealish. Connor's now deliberating over the fact that 30 isn't as old as people are making out. But at the same time, Jack Grealish now has been given an opportunity with Everton, with David Moyes, to go back to his Aston Villa level of performances, the freedom, the creativity, being the mainstay and being the main guy. Can you think of any other players or even a club that you deem to be a big winner or a big loser? And I'm going to throw out a losing club, and it's not Newcastle before people start saying it'll be Newcastle. I think Aston Villa have been
I'm glad you said that.
Big loser. They had to hold the L for this transfer window. But that's my other little hot take. Aaron, I'll hand you the floor, my friend.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I've been put on the spot. I don't know. I was sitting there now, and I just keep thinking about the Grealish thing. That, to be fair, I know it's not the question you answered.
No, make your point. Make your point.
Said. Yeah, I think that's a good shout, man. I think the big fish, small pond sort of thing. With all due respect to Everton, of course. I know that's unfair to say small pond. They're massive. But yeah, I think he needs that. I think it's a winner on everyone's part in it. You know, if Manchester City to sell him, they need him to go to a club like that where he's going to get minutes, going to feel settled, going to be appreciated by said club. Jack Grealish wins, Everton win, Manchester City wins. Yeah, fair dues. And his bank pocket still wins, doesn't it? Or his pocket still wins. He's still getting 200-300k a week.
Yeah, he's still getting nice stuff, isn't he? Absolutely.
Winners. That's a tricky one, man. I mean, obviously, you probably spoke about it already, but I think in terms of, you're talking about clubs or a specific player?
Both. So again, it's either or.
Arsenal's had a good window. We have. I'll speak.
Well, I said this to Connor. I mentioned that you've been efficient in the window, and again, I think if I'm right in saying, you was probably one of the Arsenal fans that told me towards the start of the window that it was a case of needing 6, 7, or potentially even 8 players through the door, and only if you get those players can you really assess the step forward that Arsenal should be looking to take to try and close that gap. Do you feel that not only the volume but the quality in addition to the volume has moved us closer or done enough for you to at least give you, again, if you're not an Arteta lover, you're never just going to change over the course of a transfer window. But do you think, just in terms of what's been brought through the door by the likes of Berta, do you think actually you've got credit in the bank now to at least prove me wrong?
Yeah. Look, there's a couple of duds in there, I believe, but you can always be proved wrong. None of us have got a crystal ball. None of us knows how a player's gonna, actually do over 38 games. But one of them duds is Norgard. I mean, I know he's just in there to do a job, but that don't take you to the next level. It's plugged a gap that I feel Jorginho was better in anyway. So he's just a so-so signing. The keeper, I don't really care about. Backup keeper, whatever. I think considering the money, if you'd have said to me, would you rather spend 50 million on Madueke or 42 on Adoma Lookman's release clause, I'd have gone with a release clause all day long. So I'm a little bit disappointed really in the Madueke signing. But I mean, other than that, when you sort of look at that window, Arsenal have got Europe's most prolific goal scorer in the last 2 years. That's just factual, And I think that was a great signing, a really good signing for the money, getting him through the door, fantastic. You then go and get yourself an Eze, a player that's creative, that you'd like to think will unlock them doors and allow Gyökeres to run off the shoulder of. You've then also sprinkled a couple of good players around him, i.e. Zuba Mendy. Mosquera come on against you boys and played virtually the whole entire game, and he looked very solid. To be fair, I think it's fair to say it wasn't the most excellent, and he weren't really peppered. Like I've seen at Anfield in the past, man. I've seen you maul us from first minute till last. But look, he held his own, for a young lad making only his second appearance. So look, there's some good in there for sure. And we needed to sign a lot of players, absolutely 100%. My problem is, and this is not going to surprise anyone here, we've got a squad now assembled over 5.5 years, spending over £1 billion, that is ready to win major titles. This squad is good enough to win the Premier League. This squad is good enough to be regularly getting to the latter stages of the Champions League and absolutely should be getting to the latter stages of domestic cup finals. The squad's ready. The manager absolutely, well and truly, is not ready. And there lies the issue.
Do you think he's going to be
ready and a manager that isn't?
And it's easy to say, do you think he'll be found out? Because, there'll be fans like yourself, Alan, that will have said that he was found out 2-3 seasons ago, as far as I'm concerned. But do you think it is, and I'll ask Connor this as well, is it sink or swim time for Mikel Arteta now? He's been given the tools. The excuses now are limited to none, especially because some fans will give him, outside fans will give him no grace. Connor, do you think it's sink or swim time? Or does he need to come up with the goods?
I think he has to. And for the majority of, I can't even say the majority of Arsenal fans. The majority of Arsenal fans you see online, it is 100%. I think there is a lot more that will still give him that leeway. But I think, you've been there that long and you've got the team that you have built and brought in. Yeah, something has to be won this year. And with the transfers we've got in this year as well, I was thinking, obviously we need to see him play. But I think from a mentality standpoint, a really important signing is going to be Hincapié. Because he's obviously also, same as Wirtz, in the same team. They've won the league in a way that against a team that they shouldn't have won the league against. They played outstanding football, and it's someone with experience now that knows how to win. I think that's going to be good for us from a mentality standpoint, having players like that.
I think that's a really good point, to be fair. I do. I genuinely do.
Yeah,
Because, and I've said that, the reason I'm saying it's a good point is because I've said that myself about the likes of Frimpong and Florian Wirtz, the fact that you're dropping them into a Liverpool team full of winners. These lads aren't coming in with imposter syndrome. They come in knowing themselves we are winners in our own right as well. So I think you're spot on there. In terms of, just as we kind of move through the segments, look, I always say that the whole premise of this show is, as much as we're enemies on the pitch and everything about it, I think there's an invested interest in the Red Cartel kind of being able to keep the chase and pack at arm's length, so to speak. Who do you guys kind of have down as your dark horses for disruptors this season? And that could be disruptors to the top four, could be disruptors to the Europa League, it could even be disruptors to the title race. Is there any teams that you think will kind of manage to break through, or have one of those seasons that Nottingham Forest seemed to have last season but just fell a little bit short towards the final stretch?
I think it's going to be pretty much kind of what we've seen for the last few seasons. I know a lot of people have been backing Chelsea. But I said they was my dark horses. I can't lie. What I said in the show a couple of weeks ago is I think they got too many cooks. Like they got far too many cooks. Like now, like just the business they've done. Who are you going to play? Who are you playing on the left wing?
Too many cooks, but not enough food or cooking space. Yeah. That's what it
is. They bring these players in, like Garnacho. They paid the money for Garnacho. You know that in 2 years they'll probably sell him for 60, 70 million. It just
but now down that left wing alone, they've got Garnacho, they've got Gittins, they've got who else did they get for the left wing? They got someone else. They've bought so many players I don't even know.
Whoa.
Yeah. If they hadn't wasted all of that money and gone and got themselves a Guehi for 30 million, just got that done early doors, and Donnarumma as
Chelsea
well. Chelsea would be looking like a naughty club, mate, with a
biggest winner player.
Liability.
Who's that, Connor?
Nicholas Jackson, man.
Oh, you ain't got a Bayern move yet.
Oh, you get a Bayern move.
Bro, and when Nunes is the biggest loser. How did Nunes end up in the middle of the fucking desert? Somebody tell me how he ended up in the middle of the desert, Like, I had people saying, bro, there was a song, I knew somebody was spitting, but I see some guy spitting bars on must have been on Instagram, and he was doing like football player bars, and he even said like he must have like half give a compliment to Nunes, but then in the second bar was dissing Nicholas Jackson, and I was like, yeah, but Nicholas Jackson's playing for one of the biggest teams in Europe at Darwin.
Bro, I saw Nunes was in a video with Diaz on one of the YouTubes like this season and a half ago talking about Saudi money. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. I think
getting over there. Just out of curiosity, do you know?
I actually don't know. It's a really good question. If anyone knows in the comments or what his wage is like, just do drop it in and let us know. But I do feel sorry for him because I felt he was an Atletico Madrid type player. I thought he was a Napoli type player.
I see that.
I know Italy didn't have the funds to push for the deal, but I just felt he still had the quality to be in, Champions League, Europa League football in and around one of the bigger teams in Europe. And unfortunately, it's not been the case. He's been obviously pushed out a little bit further afield. But in terms of teams now, I'm looking at it, and I try to put my case forward for Chelsea. But I think the problem that we're going to see this season, I don't know if you lads agree with me, is I think we are about to find another season where it is all going to boil down to consistency. I don't think we're going to get two brilliant teams that are going to be 95, 97, 100-point close teams. I think we are going to be looking at 5 or 6 teams there that are all in that hustle for consistency. And it might come down to who has the best form over the last 10, because everybody's been a little bit shaky up until that point.
Do you know what? With you boys, sorry, but with you boys, you're doing exactly what winners do. Like, I've not watched you guys this season and go, Liverpool are struggling. I've looked at Liverpool and gone, yeah, they've got what they needed to do done in games. They're winning it. You're 3-3, mate. Like, you're just gonna go. You're just gonna go and go and go. And I think the problem this season we're going to see is I don't think anyone will come anywhere near you. I think as much as Arsenal have done good business, I don't think Arsenal will plug that gap. Chelsea, there are so many weaknesses still in that Chelsea team, considering what they've done with the transfer window. City are just, for the first time in his career at City, when they played Brighton, I looked at Pep on the side of the pitch and I thought, this guy looks clueless. He looked out of ideas. He always looked to say, how is what I've been doing for so long just not working anymore?
But do you not think after 10 years you do actually just naturally run out of ideas, which is probably why he's never been at that, the club for that long?
Alex Ferguson never did, mate. He just carried
No,
on.
and I think that's fair. But respectfully, though, Dan, Sir Alex Ferguson's the outlier. He's not the norm. Like, I think the average lifespan for a manager, especially in the Premier League, is probably about 2.5 years. So that's not a great deal of time. So even someone as good as Pep is, with the resume and the CV and everything that he's got underneath him, I still think a decade. And think about it, football has changed. The football we was watching in 2015 to the football we're watching in 2025 right now, it's just worlds apart. Some of these other managers. No, not for the better, but the Glasners, the Eddie Howes, the Unai Emerys of this world, Nuno, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but the likes of they've all now got their own source and got their way to play and be disruptors towards the big teams. Aaron, you was going to make a point there, fella. Do you want to come back in?
I can't remember it. It's totally gone. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned about consistency. That was my little theory.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, what a geezer, Errol. So you got me right back there, mate. What a geezer. Yeah, no, I was sort of going to say, if you look at your next 3 fixtures, I'm sure it's Burnley away, then you've got Everton at home, and then the third one's eluding me. I can't quite think. And then you've got
Palace.
Yeah, no, I think it is Palace. 100%. Palace at Selhurst.
Yeah,
100%
it's Palace.
the third game.
We play you on my birthday, Dan. We play you guys on my birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, mate.
We've also got Atletico and
Southampton.
Yeah, you got your Champions League, but strictly sort of keeping it just for the Premier League. Last year, you pretty much, and I know you can't always say this, but in hindsight, you can. You pretty much won the league after the first 8-10 games because you get that roll of momentum. You're winning games, gathering that winning sort of mentality for that squad, and you never look back. And what that does is says to your rivals, which at the time, i.e. Arsenal, Manchester City, it was like, Liverpool mean business. We're falling all over the place. And we were just looking at Liverpool going, they're just a freight train. Yeah, they're going to run straight through everyone. And you did. That's exactly what you did. And at the minute, you've started with 9-9. And you've gone away at Newcastle and you've played one of your title rivals, albeit at home, and you've got 6 points. That's massive. Now, I know at the Everton game, obviously, is always a big one for you, but being at home, you always do the business against them. Burnley away, you've got to be doing that. You're taking 9 for 9 again, and you're starting with 18 points at 6. And you're looking at Arsenal possibly faltering. Look at our fixtures, by the way. We've got Nottingham Forest at home, which I expect to win. Then we've got Manchester City at home. And then we've got Newcastle away. I'm not too sure of Manchester City's fixtures, but I don't think they're either that pretty tasty. So you're looking at possibly a Liverpool side that, and I've said this on my Arsenal channel, and I don't like saying this, by the way. You're looking at a situation where if Liverpool do get 9, and or even 7 out of 9, you could be looking at your rivals being 5 points behind you, 6 points behind you, maybe even 7 points behind you. And already then it's bye, see you later. You keep gathering that momentum. You've done it again because Pep's looking there on the sideline, scratching his nut. He don't know what to do. You've got Arteta that's never known what to do. Do you know what I mean? It's just there you go. What we doing? All you've got to do then is just wait for Verts to pick up a bit of form. Your defence to just get a little bit used to it, and then it's just bye-bye, and it's frustrating. I'm not going to lie, and it was very disappointing. And I know you probably would have covered the game. I'll just quickly go over it because we didn't.
We actually didn't touch on our game at all. To be fair, so floor's yours, man. Go for it. Give us your thoughts.
Do you know what, man? I never mind talking. I just always speak from the heart. Be honest, right? I have probably in the last 10 years never seen Liverpool v Arsenal at Anfield so there for the taking. And by that, I mean, last year, look, you won the league 2-0 up, drew 2-2, who cares? The 2 years that preceded that were good battles. We were both ahead in both of them, and we ended up drawing. And then probably the 7 years before that were 5-1, 4-0, 5-0, 5-0, absolute batterings. So when I'm looking at that game and I thought 60, 70 minutes, I'm like, Liverpool are looking double pedestrian here. They're looking like they're not really in the game. The big problem was, so were bloody Arsenal. And I just thought to myself, there's any time when Liverpool are looking a little bit defensive, I ain't got their momentum just yet in the season. It's away at Anfield, match day 3. Verts hasn't hit the ground just yet, and he will, but he hasn't just yet. I'm sat there and I'm thinking, come on now, Mikel Arteta. Let's just go there and make some statement. In hindsight,
Connor said that to me. It was the best time to play Liverpool that early in the season.
Bruv, it's frustrating because I looked at that lineup and any little hope I had, any little hope I'd have thought, you know what, maybe we could go here and sort of do something. And I look at the lineup, and it's just so defensively ridden. And that whole time, you've got Martinelli, defensive winger. And then you've got Marino as 3 central defensive midfielders, and you've got 4 centre-backs at the back. I'm sitting there and thinking, man, this just ain't it. And then you look at that game and you're like, I've read this book 1,000 times. The pages are ripped. I've watched this DVD 1,000 times. It's skipping. I've seen it. Do you know what I mean? I know what's cracked. I know what's going on here. And he just failed, I think, a final audition, Mikel Arteta, to show us Arsenal fans he's turned the page. He's going to try something new. But he hasn't again. And I've said this, and I'll coin this phrase. If you want something you never had, you need to do something you never did. And for Mikel Arteta, that is going away at a title rival and picking up 3 points. And what's he gone and done? Set up there defensively, which has proved to be wrong at the Etihad and at Anfield time and time again over 5.5 years. So he shit the bed, boys, basically. He did, and he left skids on the way out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just frustrating. I was so disappointed when I saw that lineup. And then all it takes in a game is, to coin a phrase, is a moment of magic. And of course, it didn't go to us. Yet again, it went to Szoboszlai. And you were growing in the game anyway at that point for a good 5 or so minutes.
I think Curtis Jones changed it.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones changed it.
He
did really well in that midfield when he came on. I think it was just his ability to get on the ball.
Yeah,
and I get that. And it can happen. Games like that are really, it's always going to, we've been on the receiving end of it to City, where we've, again, probably felt like we've been closer in the game and played a little bit better, but it's been the fine margins that have kind of cost us taking the 3 points. Connor, I'll ask you again, because while we're touching on the game, do you feel that the better side came away with the 3 points? Or do you think it was probably been better for maybe not just for Arsenal season, but for the league, that it would have been a draw? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, bro, I made my points very clear in that video that I made. But yeah, no, I think that game was a draw, and literally just like Aaron just said, it came down to a moment of magic. Without that free kick, it was a draw.
Do you not think Liverpool would have found a way to score, though? Because I think we've got 83 minutes on the clock. We pop up with a moment of magic, but then there's still another 10, 15 minutes to play. Obviously, you get 7 minutes added on. Do you not think if Liverpool needed to put the foot on your neck for that little bit longer, we would have been able to do that?
I don't know, because like I said to you personally, and also I said in the videos that I've done, both teams defended really well and both teams attacked poorly. Neither team's attack looked like there was a threat, apart from 1 or 2 chances, like the chance where your disallowed goal, when Wirtz actually had that shot off. Pretty much the only thing I saw the whole game. It was I was fuming that I rushed home to watch it. Not just because we lost. I mean, I'm talking 60 minutes in, I was mad because it was just boring. Yeah. It was just a boring game of football, which I didn't expect I thought either it would be like previous seasons where it's been tighter, more vibrant draws, or that you lot were just going to smash us and I'd throw my phone out the window. Neither of those things happened.
Interesting. No, you're right. You are right. I think there was moments of frustration for both sides, definitely in that game. Dan United, somebody obviously looking at these two teams now, Arsenal, Liverpool, and again your situation in terms of where United currently are. Before we wrap up, we need to discuss: can there be a cohesive team that Ruben Amorim can field this season that can get you back up the league table? Can he make that midfield of Bruno and Casemiro where can the wing backs, can he get the best out of those? And can he get somebody like Sesko enough service to get the goals that are going to save him his job, essentially?
I'll flip it. Let me flip it to all of you.
Yeah, man.
Without the goalkeeping errors that Manchester United have had this season, where would Manchester United be right now? Because against Arsenal, I think we were good for a minimum the draw. We were the better side that day, goalkeeping error. Against Fulham, we were 1-0 up, goalkeeping error. Grimsby Town, 2 goalkeeping errors. Burnley, goalkeeping error. There's a common denominator here. Now, you know my thoughts, Errol. Not a Manchester United fan that thinks everything's changed and we're back to where we need to be. But I think Manchester United have done the right things this transfer window. We got rid of a group of players that were never going to play for us again. We've got a lot of money off the wage bill. When you look further forward with Manchester United, they've got the end of this season. Maguire's out of contract. Casemiro's out of contract. Heaton will go. Malacia, bless his heart, will go as well. Manchester United could have been on 7 points now. Could have absolutely been on 7 points. And I know we don't know what happens. We don't have a crystal ball. And I've had my angry moment because in the Grimsby game, I felt that the players and the manager just showed a complete disrespect to a team in a division below, a couple of divisions below, and thought we turn up here and we do that. It doesn't happen in England.
And we've all been, all of our teams have been.
Of course we have.
All been guilty of that.
I think Manchester United. When you ask me what I think about Liverpool and Arsenal, my honest answer is, and this is no disrespect, I couldn't care less because we're not in the same conversation as these clubs. We're nowhere near. What Manchester United need to do this season is be the best of the rest of the other 15. And on this season's showing, I don't think anyone has really looked like a team that you look at and go, okay, we're in trouble here.
I think the advantage that well, not necessarily the advantage, but I think that what's benefiting you at the moment is Newcastle have started slow, struggled. Villa started slow, and these are teams that have been, predicted to kind of be there or thereabouts. Anyway, I don't think Forest have had the best start. City again, are already in a bit of a sticky situation. Considering the fact that they'll want to be in a title race, to have lost 2 games in your opening 3, it doesn't bode well. Do you know what I mean?
I'll ask you this. Who's under the most pressure going into the Manchester derby, Pep or Amorim? And for me, it's Pep.
It's Pep. I'd say it's Pep anyway.
It has to be Pep.
People are expecting United to get the bellies tickled anyway. So if United was to actually step up and do something, given the way everybody talks about United, it would be a massive shock to Pep's system because it would probably put one of the few remaining there. Yeah, what's with the dogs and cats tonight, guys? Is it bringing animals to work night or what?
No, I actually agree with that. To be fair, I do. Yeah, because I think a United win against City in the derby is more of an eyes look on Pep than City winning against United and an eyes look on Amorim. That's what it is.
Answer me this, right? How am I with this Man United side that finished 15th last season and we've shaky start with the goalkeeping situations? How am I sat here saying that I am absolutely not afraid to go to the Etihad against Manchester City? Like, how does that happen?
There's no expectation.
I don't even think it's
that last year as well, didn't you?
Exactly that, and this is the thing. It's not even the expectation. This City side don't look the same. Like this City side does not fill me with fear. Like I watched LB on the first Football's 12th Man show, going, we're this, we're that, and I thought, bro, you just played Wolves, who got absolutely decimated in the transfer window. Yeah. So I think, look, Manchester United, quite rightly so, can happily go this season about their business. We can. We've just got to. You made the fantastic point, Errol, and the word is consistency. If United can unlock some consistency, absolutely fine. For me, as long as we finish Europe, I don't care how we do it. I don't care if it's by hook or by crook. As long as at the end of this season we're in Europe, I couldn't give 2 shits. Like, we have just come off the back of a horrendous season. We know we've already addressed, I think, the issues that Manchester United had last season with the transfers that we made. Yes, we wanted a midfielder, but we couldn't afford it. I think that we're looking at Manchester United now. Today, it looks like one of, if not both, Binder and Onana are going to leave the club. And I'm absolutely fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. Football is about moments. You said that about the Szoboszlai goal. That was a moment. Manchester United have been victims of goalkeeping moments this season. So we could have absolutely been sat here saying tonight, how are United 2nd or 3rd in the league? How the hell's that happened? It's fine margins. Now, the formation with Amorim, we all know at the moment, it doesn't look like it's working. And
he's going to live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly that. But the one criticism I would say about him, other than the formation, is this guy has got to stop with the threats. We've all been at work with someone that you walk up and you say, how are you, Trev? I hate this place. I'm going to quit. I've had enough of it. It's doing me head in. No one respects me here. I'm not getting done what I want to get done. A week later, hiya, Trev. Still here, mate? Yep, sound. You can't keep making these threats because I get he's emotional. We all get emotional. But when I see the manager of Manchester United, regardless of us being in the pits, sat on the bench at Grimsby on a penalty shootout, rocking like this. That ain't a good look for my club, boys. That ain't a good look at all. So,
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
and he upgraded
Yeah,
it.
man, isn't it?
He upgraded it against Burnley. He sort of leant back in the chair and sort of just but he's still of course getting used to the Premier League. And I'll say this: the Premier League, a lot of managers come here expecting to go to a big team and dominate. This is the best league in the world for a reason, because any team on any day can beat anybody. That's just the way it is. So I hear people saying, I hear Saeed saying, oh, we'll be gone by Christmas. Absolutely not. I think this guy, as long as he does the things right this season and gets a bit of consistency, I think he's got an ownership there that doesn't expect us to be going for Champions League. We've got a 3-year plan, which is a bozo thing to say anyway. But as long as by the time we're in February, we're in 7th or 8th, I think we'll be fine. And then next season, you've got the latest crop to go with the Casemiros, the Bruno Fernandes, who will definitely be gone next season. And I think we change it.
I think you make another good point, though, and I think that was kind of dovetailing on what I said before about getting to that February-March position in a good place, and then it's who's going to be the most consistent over the last 10 games, because those last 30 points will absolutely mean the world to some teams, and they'll be banking on it. But yeah, no, lads, you know what? I really enjoyed this one tonight. Again, I think I needed a little bit of therapy. I don't like talking the international break after 3 games. It's just a nonsense.
9 points out of 9, and you need therapy. What? Come on, man.
Like for the right reasons, the international after the transfer. Well, yeah, you might as well. So I like it. I like hearing different perspectives of things. I don't like to be stuck in an echo chamber. So, lads, thank you for joining us. Give yourselves a big shout out as well. Let me know where we can, people in the comments and people watching on the playback can watch some of your content. Connor, let people know where I'm going.
First of all, appreciate you having me on. As always, everyone make sure you're following everyone in this chat, because there's all different kinds of content going out. You can find me across all relevant platforms on CDL Arsenal and CDL Sports. That one's a bit slow at the moment, but we'll pick it up soon.
Calm. Dan United, let people know what's going on your over on your side. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's Dan United, nice and simple. Live every night, 6:30. To be fair, I've just started this season, and I didn't realise how bad and tough it was in the international break. I'm sat here. I'm contemplating making news up and sending it to the bloody papers to try and build something up there. But yeah, live at 6:30 every night, and then the watch-alongs as well. Thanks very much for having me on, Errol. It's always a pleasure, mate, to spend some time with you and listen to some decent football chat as well. So appreciate it.
I like that. I think, do you know what? I think that's one of the things at the moment. I think the YouTube space is, I feel like we all know it's a very saturated space at the moment, but there aren't that many shows that I go to or listen and where you can just get proper football chat without all the fluff, the banter, the cooking and all the rest of it. And I'm sure they will come at some point this season, because, you know, who doesn't love a good cooking from time to time? But sometimes you've got to talk football.
Don't worry. They'll come. I don't worry about that.
Of course. Aaron, let people know what's going on your TV, what you got going on your channel.
Yeah, man, copy and paste as well what the boys said. Thank you very much for having me on. And yeah, always a pleasure to talk a bit of football. Even though I only done 50% of it, it's still 100% privilege for being on, mate. Big up.
Pretty much Arteta's mantra, that, isn't it? 50%.
Yeah. If that, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Jesus. But now, yeah, big up to the chat as well. Don't forget to sub to all the boys. Smash a like on the video for Errol. And if you want to come and listen to what I've got to say, I'm at Aaron Talks Arsenal on YouTube. Not football. Aaron Talks Arsenal, not football. Everyone always says Aaron Talks Football. That's not my fucking channel. Aaron Talks Arsenal.
That's what I said to myself when the mic was off as soon as you arrived. I was like, oh, it's Aaron Talks Football. No, it's not.
Do you reckon there's a bloke that is Aaron Talks Football that goes, I'm sick of people saying
you know that. What? I think there is. I think that's why I've seen it on TikTok.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But lads, you never have to thank me for joining. You know you're always welcome. You're a part of the cartel as far as I'm concerned. You guys turn up for me and you help me out. So couldn't do the show without the likes of you guys. So thank you very much. Greg, Scouser in the building. Big up yourself, bro. Big up yourself. Let people know where they can catch you on your socials and what you've got going on.
So you can find me on Twitter at Greg's Local LFC. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Greg Manique. And yeah, basically just every day me waffling about something that I see on Twitter. And then sometimes on TikTok, I do lives where I just scroll Twitter and I'll waffle live about what my thoughts are on the things that I see on Twitter. So, it's going quite well, I'd say, so far. But yeah, I'm going to try and do a lot more long form on YouTube as well, which is just Who is Greg. And yeah, there you can catch me on there.
And
once again, big up everyone else here.
Uncredited on a bunch of Liverpool articles as well. You need credit for.
Oh, lads. Tell me about it, man. That Isak flag went triple platinum, lad. Not a single penny entered my bank account. Yeah.
We're still waiting to get plugged in by the club, Greg.
Talk sports, sort it out. Yeah.
Are you Who is Greg on Twitter?
Yeah.
Mate, I love you on Twitter, man.
He's noisy, isn't it?
I was Indy Kyler put something on there. You're like, little bro, stop now. Stop. Just tweeting at it. I love it, mate. Love it.
Well, we try to bring you some good characters, good personalities to the show. So again, lads, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your evening. Friday night, guys, go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Go and enjoy your weekend. Look after yours and your loved ones. And we will see you in the next cartel. Just over and out.
Boom.